I'm Bert Gambini, co-host of Nickel City Chef, and thrilled to be here for the first competition of Season 1. Our Nickel City Chef, Krista Wagner from Curly's Restaurant, challenged by Frank Mercado, the executive chef at the Executive Dining Room at M&T Bank. Today's battle featured grains from the Massachusetts Avenue Project, creativity and energy. What a great way to start the season.
Hello, I'm Frank Mercado, Executive Chef for M&T Bank. Today I was part of the Nickel City Chef Challenge. I battled Krista Wagner from Curly's Restaurant. When putting together my menu, I really didn't want to take anything away from the actual freshness and the herbs and really put that earthiness into my food.
Hello, my name is Krista Wagner and I'm from Curly's Grill and Banquet Center. The secret ingredient today was incredible. I'm talking fresh, I'm talking green, and I'm talking good for you. I was really excited working with the Massachusetts Avenue Project. I'm telling you right now, they are growing mache, lamb's lettuce, baby spinach, and the most beautiful watercress. I had absolutely no problem working with these ingredients.
Today, my first course was creamy spinach soup with smoked shrimp. I took the secret ingredient and I used it in the soup. I didn't want to take anything away from the color or the flavor, so I pureed it in there at the end. I was really happy with it.
My first course today was a watercress and mache bisque. I love a bisque, but today, working with this watercress and mache, I was so excited about the green. The green is what was so exciting today. The bisque is real classic. I just used a bit of the arborio rice, and that was my binder. Simple chicken stock, just a touch of cream, nothing too heavy. Cooked that out, blended it up, thickened it. Very simply, just in the blender, took the mache, which is so mild to work with, and then I hit it with equal parts of the watercress. Processed that, and at the very end, I finished my soup with it, so to retain that beautiful green color. The garnish was quite simple. It was a spinach and a scallop timbale, or mousse. I garnished it with some oysters, because I wanted to make it pop for you, and we crusted them with cornflakes. It felt at home to me. But that was a beautiful dish.
The second course was a trio of all three greens. I felt that I really needed to present how versatile the three greens actually are. In my first dish of the trio, I did a mache marinated pork belly, and I took the mache and I made a marinade and I cryovac it with the pork belly, and then I seared that, and then I served a mache charred corn salad with a little bit of black garlic in there. All the flavors worked really well. You had the sweet and the bitter from the greens, and you had the corn in there. I took the watercress itself. I muddled it with a little bit of sugar, added a little bit of rum, lots of ice, and I served a mojito. I was really happy with that one. The last dish, we took the spinach and we made a spinach and goat cheese duck sausage. And I served that over a spinach and kind of like mustard greens, but I used a little bit of actual mustard and spinach. That worked out really well.
For the second course, thank you, Kirk, my husband. He got us in some Nigerian prawns, which were supersized, and I mean supersized. I worked with an araquina olive oil. And I was in Spain this year, and unbelievable. I fell in love with the Spanish olive oil. I am telling you, this araquina, which is from Spain, is fruity. And so what I did was I kicked it up with some garlic and some salt, made like a paste, added the zest of lemon, lime, and the orange, and just marinated in that and roasted it in the oven. I served it with quinoa, which is a superfood. And I have to tell you, my kids fell in love with it, so you try it at home. The quinoa I simply did with mango, cucumber, because I wanted it to be fresh, a bit of red onion. I used an apricot balsamic syrup and a bit of rice wine vinegar and a bit of cilantro. And that was my salad, and we garnished the dish with the sauce, a chimichurri, a spinach chimichurri. So I had the spinach in there just to utilize that ingredient one more time. And then I finished that with a bit of the mache, just tossed real simply in the apricot balsamic syrup.
My last course, I really wanted to take all three herbs and blend them together and see what I can get. I took a piece of Wagyu beef and I marinated it with all three herbs and a little bit of garlic and cryovac it so that the flavor would steep right into the beef. It had a really earthiness flavor to the beef. I took all three herbs and I also made a chimichurri. Added a little pepper flakes and a little bit of garlic, a little bit of citrus. The beef was served on top of a spinach and sunchoke potato cake. It was just one more additive to the plate that I thought was appropriate. It worked out really well. The greens themselves speak for themselves on how bright in color they are on the plate. when I pureed them, they really stood out on the plate.
For our third course today, I finished it up with some squab, just to be a little different. And my seasoning for the squab was quite interesting. A bit of coriander and a bit of turmeric, salt and pepper. And we seasoned that up real good, just pan-seared it. It cooked up very quick. We had to be careful with that. We finished that with a foie gras sauce, come on, and a Tarentaise spinach strudel. And the Tarentaise is much like raclette. It's nutty, grassy, and buttery all at one time. We also garnished our plate with some very simple cherry tomatoes sauteed in the same pan as the squab and added some watercress. So we had the wilted watercress with that as well. And the potato, just a simple green and gold. I used the Yukon Golds, finished with a little chiffonade of spinach, just to get that ingredient in there one more time. Beautiful dish.
Hi, I'm Nelson Starr. I'm the host of Buffalo for Real TV. Today I had the great opportunity of being a judge on Nickel City Chef. I thought both chefs used the secret ingredient very inventively, and it was just really packed with flavor. I think the chefs are really realizing that the secret to the judges' hearts, and probably everyone else's, is to really get as much flavor into the dishes and creativity as possible. Everything from smoking to really creative use of sauces, really amped it up. I was blown away at the flavor profile of many of the dishes today. I have a tough job. Someone has to do it, you know.
Hi, my name's Ann Giordano. I'm the executive chef at the Creekview Restaurant in Williamsville. I acted as a judge in today's battle. I thought today there were no losers in this battle. I thought both chefs did an incredible job. For their third course, Frank did a sous vide steak, which I thought was just a wonderful presentation. The flavor of the steak was very good. His sunchoke spinach potato pancake had a great flavor. Maybe a little crusty on the outside was one of the comments, but I really enjoyed it.
I guess my favorite dish by Chef Mercado, his first dish that he presented it on a pillow of smoke that he had put in a sous vide type bag, and it was just emanating smell of smoke that blended with the food, which was also kind of smoked out with a jasmine tea infusion.
For the entree, Krista did a seared squab, which was just really quite amazing with a foie gras sauce and shaved truffles on top. And then she did a phyllo strudel. I really liked the cherry tomatoes that she finished the dish off with. At the end, it was just like a burst of flavor after all these comforting, warm flavors.
For Krista, I felt all of her stuff was really incredible. Flavor-wise, the thing that impressed me most was her initial offering, which was a soup she had made from all the different greens. So it really encapsulated the secret ingredient well. It really just had a lot of essence of the greens and just was a perfect flavor profile.
Personally, I love being involved with this project with Nickel City Chef. I love the way we're focusing on the local seasonal ingredients that we have available in Buffalo. As a chef who's actually competed in this event, I can't tell you how difficult it is to perform under these time restrictions and really try and make the dishes that you want to present. And I give credit to each chef for doing just a wonderful job.
I think both of our competitors had an opportunity to not only incorporate the flavors of the greens into their dish, but also use the color of the greens to complement the appearance of their dish, really making this competition a true sensory experience.
I work in many restaurants because I love what I do. I love being a chef. Most importantly, I find inspiration in a lot of things. It's just all those small things that really inspire you. I mean, just the food and being part of the Western New York food culture and being in the loop of being in the restaurant business, just that alone excites me, and I love being in the loop.